Whilst we often refer to this software as a dialer, it is in fact a fully fledged inbound-outbound contact centre application. Here we're looking at inbound, which is just as comprehensive as the outbound campaign settings, and in fact is very similar to configure. So an inbound queue is effectively what you'd be configuring, and you can basically give the queue an identity and a colour, so it appears as red on the live wallboard if a call comes into this particular in-group. We can set up separate URLs or web-based applications to pop based on calls into this in-group. We can dictate which agent gets the next call to this inbound group in much the same way as we do with an outbound campaign call. We can give queues different priorities. A agent can be a member of a queue, and they can be on hook or they can be off hook. So effectively, if they were an on hook agent, then it would ring their phone physically. If they were an off hook agent, they'd be off the hook anyway, ready to take the call already. Again, in much the same way as campaign outbound settings, you can set up scripts, you can set up numbers to transfer through to. It gets a little bit different here when we're looking at queue behaviour, so how long a call can be in a queue for before it's dropped, and then therefore what then happens to that call. And in much the same way as that, you can set up the queue working hours and what to do with that call outside of the main queue hours. You could send it to a voicemail, you could send it to an extension, send it to a call menu. So a call menu would be giving the person options to press on their keypad to route their call accordingly. You can give you can give the queue the ability to not accept calls if there aren't any agents logged into that queue at the time. You can limit the amount of calls that can enter the queue, and then you can set up various different prompts or hold music or branded messaging to play whilst the client is either on hold or waiting in the queue before they've actually spoken to an agent. You can play periodic announcements throughout the time that the agents are either on hold or waiting in the queue, and you can also play them their estimated hold time and where they are in the queue. So again, very, very comprehensive inbound queuing ability with this software, in addition to the outbound dialing aspect.